The phone buzzed between us. Not loudly, not urgently, just enough to be noticed. We were sitting on opposite ends of the couch, the television breathing light into the room, his shoulder close but unreachable. He didn't move, didn't flinch. He had perfected the art of absence while being physically present. The screen lit up, a name I didn't recognize, a single line of text. I miss what we did last night. My hand reached for the phone before my mind could intervene, not out of panic, out of instinct, the kind built from years of trust, the kind that assumes there is always a reasonable explanation. He turned then, too slow. Our eyes met. Something cracked. Not loudly, internally, like ice fracturing beneath careful steps. He opened his mouth, closed it again. I felt nothing at first. That frightened me more than anger ever could. The message stared back at me, intimate, casual, confident. This wasn't a mistake. This was a routine. I handed the phone back to him without a word. My pulse slowed instead of raced. My thoughts sharpened. Whatever he was hiding had finally slipped, and I was going to let him believe I hadn't noticed how deep the cut really was. That night, he slept easily. I didn't. I lay awake listening to his breathing, counting the seconds between inhales, measuring how little space existed between us, despite the years we'd built together. Loving wife, emotionally absent husband. I had carried that imbalance like a private burden, convincing myself it was normal. Work stress, fatigue. Men retreat inward, they say. I replayed moments I had ignored. The sudden late meetings, the way his phone never left his hand, the subtle flinch when I touched him unexpectedly. Trust had made me blind. Love had done the rest. In the bathroom mirror, I studied my own face. Calm, composed, no visible fractures. I practiced breathing slowly, methodically, as if preparing for surgery. He woke smiling, kissed my cheek, asked if I slept well. Yes, I said. The lie tasted clean. Over breakfast, he spoke about nothing. Weather, traffic, plans for the weekend. His voice was warm, familiar, practiced. I watched him like a stranger wearing my husband's skin. I didn't ask about the message. Not yet. I needed to understand the architecture of his deception. People don't build double lives overnight. They construct them carefully, brick by brick, trusting that no one will ever look too closely. I intended to look at everything. I moved quietly. I learned his patterns, noticed how his late meetings aligned with a specific rhythm. Tuesdays, Thursdays, occasional Sundays. I checked phone records, cloud backups, small digital footprints he assumed were invisible. There were others. Messages deleted but not erased. Photos saved under false folders. A calendar entry marked only with a dot. Minimalism disguised as caution. He was careful, not careful enough. I watched him laugh at dinner parties, place a possessive hand on my back, watch the admiration in others' eyes when they looked at us. The perfect couple, stable, envied. Inside, I cataloged everything. Dates, times, lies. I never raised my voice, never changed my routine. I cooked his favorite meals, asked about his day, listened attentively. I became the version of myself he expected, safe, trusting, predictable. At night, I lay beside him, staring into the dark, feeling the heat of his body without warmth. This wasn't about catching him. It was about knowing him completely before I dismantled the illusion he relied on. When the evidence finally aligned, it wasn't explosive. It was precise, a confirmation of what my intuition had already accepted. He wasn't just unfaithful. He was living another life, and he had never planned to stop. The confirmation arrived on a Tuesday, a forwarded email, accidentally sent, containing plans I was never meant to see, a future that didn't include me. I printed it. Paper makes betrayal tangible. That evening, I placed it on the kitchen table between us. No preamble, no accusation, just evidence. He froze. The color drained from his face in stages. Shock, fear, calculation. I can explain, he said. I shook my head. Slowly. I already understand. That unsettled him more than shouting ever could. He spoke anyway. Apologies tangled with justifications. Loneliness. Pressure. Mistakes. He reached for my hand. I pulled it back. I watched him unravel, noting how quickly regret surfaced when secrecy failed, not when betrayal occurred. I felt something then. Not pain. Clarity. I
told him I knew everything, not angrily, factually. I listed details he never realized were visible. Names, dates, locations. His mouth opened, then closed. Each word stripped him of control. I explained my next steps: financial separation, legal consultation, the quiet conversations already had, the plans already in motion. He begged. I stood. I trusted you blindly, I said. You used that.
There was no need to punish him loudly. His devastation was internal, corrosive. He had lost the narrative, lost the mask, lost me. I walked past him, leaving the paper on the table like a gravestone. The apartment feels larger now, quieter. I sleep through the night. Trust doesn't shatter loudly. It erodes silently until one moment reveals the damage. He sends messages I never open, apologies that arrive too late to matter. I don't hate him. I simply see him. And that is enough. Trust, once broken, doesn't beg to be rebuilt. It walks away.